Subscribers keep asking me to talk about reunion scenes. Reunion scenes, if you want to know why I think that they need to go here, where they belong, then you gotta stay tuned. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another rousing episode of Spill the Tea Tuesday. Yes, Spill the Tea Tuesday. My name is Flossie, and I am the funniest, wittiest mindset coach, as well as your OG Hype You Up Rampage Queen here on YouTube. If you would like one-on-one coaching with me, links, of course, are going to be in the description box below. Plus, there's going to be an SP workshop in July. You don't want to miss that. 2 days with me and Nikki going over everything manifestation from A to Z about how to manifest your specific person. And if you want to be part of the exciting new VIP group that is back here on YouTube with challenges, with lives, and those lives include an opportunity to be in the spotlight seat where you can be on camera if you want with Nikki and myself and ask your manifestation questions, then you got to join. And our actual challenge right now in the VIP group is about your specific person. So go ahead and join in the link here on YouTube. Anyway, before I get to the topic of the day, you know I got to talk about my calendar. So this says never fucking give up. Yeah, I'm personally never going to fucking give up on anything that I actually want. Hey, if my desire changes, then so be it. I'm a master manifesting. I can literally get whatever I want, but I don't have to give up because I know that I can manifest everything and everything. So this says kick ass and take fucking names. Yeah, as opera empower your reality. When you can be, do, have anything that you want, why are you letting the 3D shiznits rule you when you are legit the opera empower? Never stop fucking exploring and figuring out what you want to be, do, or have because you are limitless, not limited. This says get a fucking plan or something. Yeah, if you need a distraction from your 3D reality, get a plant. Or go do something that you want. Go do something fun because adventure awaits, bitches. When you're the upper empower your reality and you're getting what you want, it's like life is an adventure. Facts. So anyway, without further ado, let's get to the video. So I have people, even though I've made a video on this before about why not to focus on reunion scenes. I did one a long time ago with Coach Nikki. If I can find it, I'll link it here. But basically, don't focus on reunion scenes. There's a number of reasons why I tell people not to do that. Now, of course, you can do what you want. I'm making recommendations based on my own personal journey and things that I've discovered, what I felt about myself and law of assumption. And I don't really focus on reunion scenes. I don't have my clients focus on reunion scenes. In fact, when my clients stopped focusing on reunion scenes, guess what? They got their shiznits. So here's the reasons. Number one, of course, I have a list because I do sometimes write a list. The reunion scene, a lot of people so what is a reunion scene if you don't know what it is? Real quick, it's typically when someone is manifesting a specific person and that relationship has already ended and they are visualizing or fantasizing or daydreaming about what it is going to be like when that person comes back, like how it is going to go down, the how, what's going to happen, how SP is going to show up. Basically, essentially, the reunion, which is why it's called the reunion scene. I don't like for people to do that because it keeps you stuck in the old story. Because every time you're thinking of the reunion scene, number one, you're reaffirming that you're not together. You're thinking about the old story. You're staying focused on not having what you want. Because if you had what you wanted, you wouldn't be focusing on the getting it. You're focusing on not having it and it quote unquote coming back to you. But it's just, for many people with their specific person, when that relationship ended, it was a very emotional, traumatic, thing, or it was full of a bunch of turmoil or what have you. It has an old story attached to it, which was why sometimes those things seem so painful. So why do you want to keep reaffirming that you're not together, thinking about the negative story? Sometimes people will just be like, they don't realize that they're trying to control the how. So they'll be like, well, I want my SP to show up begging to be with me, and I want them to be like showing up at my door. You know, our God selves are omnipotent. We're limitless. We're not limited. And I try not to put a limit on my God self with my teeny tiny puny human brain who couldn't think of all the different ways that I could get my shit. And so when you are trying to control the how, it's like you're slamming the door in your God self's face or your higher consciousness face. And instead of saying, here's the door wide open with all the plethora of possibilities for me to give my manifestation, I'm now slamming it in your face and I'm giving you a keyhole to squeeze it through. And I think because people are looking for it to get to them a certain way, they're causing their own unintentional delay. I have people who are basically like, yeah, I want SP to show up at my door begging to be with me, begging for my forgiveness. Really? Because that's not living from the end in the first place. But, you know, if someone's sitting there saying, well, I want SP to show up at my door wearing bow ties, suspenders, having their hair gelled back with a bunch of red roses on their hands and knees, pleading for my holy forgiveness, that's like totally and completely controlling the how. It could be that you run into SP at the store. I know plenty of people that that's happened to. It could be that you literally end up having something, information come to you and you just text SP about something and that starts the conversation. It could be SP text you. It could be you run into SP somewhere that's not a store. It could be that a friend mentions you to SP and that gets you to think, them to think about you and them coming forth. There are so many different things and ways that could happen in order for your manifestation to start its unfolding. Like, we have no idea what's going to move for us to get our manifestation. You're trying to control what is going to move, exactly how it's going to move. Now, I'm not saying that people can't get that, because there's a lot of people who do control the how they get things, and they do have a visualization, and those scenes do occur. And there's plenty of people that have done that. But the thing is like, do you want to stay focused on the old story time and time again? Because if you were truly thinking and living from the end, you would already be in that relationship and you would be thinking as if you're in a relationship. If you were in a relationship with SP right now, would you be thinking about them begging to be with you at your door, apologizing for everything? I get some people who get really stuck on an apology and they're like, well, I need to have an apology. Well, if you absolutely must have an apology in order for you to move forward with getting your manifestation, then you're going to get an apology, because it wouldn't seem natural to you for you to be with your SP without it. So if you absolutely must have an apology, it's pretty much implied that you're going to get it, because that's your assumption. Like, if you won't accept SP without an apology and you're affirming that you and SP are in a relationship, guess what? You're going to get an apology. So why actually affirm for the apology when it's implied by your assumptions of what you're willing to accept? Hello? I wouldn't be sitting there focusing on a reunion scene where someone's apologizing to me. I'd be focusing on having what I want. And for those of you who do revision, if you do revision and you literally change the past, you're not going to get the apology probably, because they aren't going to remember what happened or why you're not together. Because, you know, revision can be that strong to where people's memories gets fuzzy on stuff. I've had clients have emails disappear, text conversations disappear, have people in their 3D reality literally not really remember things that had happened because they revised it. Had things completely changed for some people. You know, if you don't believe me, there's always a bunch of stories in the Mermaid Gang, and I do post some success stories on here, and there's a lot of people who've had a lot of success with revision. Well, you want apology, don't be doing revision, number one. But number two, if you must have it, guess what? It's going to be part of your unfolding at some point, because it wouldn't be logical or seem natural to you to get it, and you probably wouldn't accept it. So I would say don't focus on the apology. Do things that make you feel not so attached to the negative emotion of the old story, so that you're not clinging to the apology, and so that you can affirm and persist for what you want. And I talk about those things basically in the resistance video that I did, which I can link here. But anyway, so you don't want to focus on the reunion scene, of course, as I was saying, because it keeps you in the old story. It's trying to control the how and part of your Bridget incidents, how it can unfold. We talked about that. It's not thinking from the end. We were talking about that. Because again, you wouldn't be thinking about a reunion scene if you had what you wanted. You wouldn't think about them begging you. You would already have what you want, and you'd be like, why am I thinking about something that happened months ago that was unpleasant for me? You wouldn't be thinking about it. You wouldn't care about it anymore. You would be focused that your relationship is now stronger than ever and not living in the past. The other thing is it keeps you in a highly emotional state. If you are constantly thinking about how SP broke your delicate little heart and how they stomped on it to bits, that you need an apology for it and you need for them to show up at your door begging and pleading to be with you and focusing on that reunion scene, hello. It keeps you in just this emotional wreck. Do you want to be an emotional wreck all the time? I mean, I talk to people over the years and they're like, I'm spiraling. Well, what are you doing? I'm thinking about, SP showing at my door and apologizing to me and apologizing for all the third parties and, hurting my feelings and to tell me that I'm ugly and this, that, and the other thing. It's like, why are you torturing yourself? Why are you keeping yourself in the old story when you're like legit focusing on all the miserable, terrible things that ever happened, and you're just basically ruminating, or in other words, focusing on the old story, which is doing what? Causing your own unintentional delay because you're focusing on the stuff you don't want, period. So we got to put it here. That's why it's got to go here. It's why it's got to go in the owl trash can. You remember her? This bee is always hungry for your BS, always hungry for your negative, nasty ass thoughts. And I consider the old story to be part of your negative, nasty ass thoughts. So why would you purposely think and remind yourself of the old story that you don't want, that you want to get rid of when you're manifesting your specific person? So that is essentially what I'm talking about. You keep putting yourself in this emotional cycle that has you going through the old story over and over again. And it just makes the process miserable. Triggered, unhappy, period. So I hope that this video has been helpful for you. For the followers who do not remember my previous reunion, not focusing on the reunion scene video that I made with Nikki, but I tell my clients not to focus on reunion scenes. If you absolutely must have an apology, it's going to come forth some part in the unfolding of your manifestation, but don't try to control necessarily how you're going to get that and limit yourself and be like, no, they must show up at my door doing this. I mean, of course, it's your reality. You can literally do what you want, but if your manifestation's not showing up and that's what you've been doing and you're not getting any movement, I would say it's time to change what you're doing, because what you're doing maybe ain't working for you. It may not be working for you. It's probably not helping mental diet. And everything that doesn't help with our mental diet goes where? Goes in here. Goes to her. She's always hungry. She's got quite the appetite. She can handle all of our negative thoughts. I feel it's a bottomless pit of being able to just suck it in and zap it out. Give it to her. Get your own owl trash can. Put it in that. Think metaphorically of putting thoughts into her. She'll happily accept it. We can hold on and accept your burden of all your negative, nasty ass thoughts, can't we? If she could answer you, she would say yes, because I'd rather have you put it in my owl trash can where it's going to go away than to keep holding on to it like you're clinging to grandma's sweater, or like grandma clings to her sweater, whichever. Doesn't really matter to me. I don't care if you're clinging to grandma's sweater or if she's clinging to it, but quit clinging to it like you're clinging to a sweater. Okay, that's enough of that. So that was this week's episode of Spilling the Tea Tuesday. Of course, if you have any video ideas, drop them below, because I'm always checking them out. And I've been starting to post some of them on Spilling the Tea Tuesday today, Quit Tripping Balls Thursday on Thursday, or Fun on Affirmation Friday with Flossie on Friday. So I've been trying to post more videos, get more content out to you guys, because I just want you guys to what? GYS, get your shit, be part of the GYS crew. Facts. And if anything else, I guess I'll just see you next week. Bye.